When her middle child was 11 years old, Amanda Jette Knox received an email sent to both herself and her spouse. The email said, "I'm a girl trapped in a boy's body." And so began the family's journey, moving from a family of 3 sons to a family of 2 sons and a daughter named Alexis. But it didn't end there. A little more than a year later, another family member came out. This time, it was Jette Knox's spouse of nearly 20 years, revealing she was a transgender woman. If you are listening to this and thinking that's going to tear this family apart, you are wrong. Amanda, her wife Zoe, and their family are stronger than ever, leading with love and providing a visible example of what it looks like to thrive in a transgender family. Amanda is joining us in studio this morning with your incredible story. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell me, first of all, about the reaction when that email came to you and your spouse at the time from your son saying, I feel like I am female. I feel like I am a woman.
Right. It was really a scary moment for me because I didn't know anything about trans issues. All I knew is that this child that we knew at the time as our middle son was really struggling with anxiety and depression and increasingly isolating in the bedroom and just not living life. And we had tried everything. We couldn't figure out what was going on. So this was a real catalyst moment for us.
Talk to me about feeling like I think a lot of parents might have, which is, well, this is just a phase, you know, this is that age, the importance of hearing and believing people when they come to you, especially young people, and say, this is who I am.
It's so important to listen and honor who somebody says they are. I mean, all of the evidence today suggests that trans kids know themselves as well as trans adults and as well as cisgender people like me. You know, they know themselves, and so it's very important that we don't question that we don't go, well, are you sure? Is it a phase? You know, maybe, you know, I wanted to be a superhero when I was a kid and I don't want to anymore. And that's what a lot of people sort of base their view of trans kids on. But we know, and I know, having lived this with her for over 5 years now, that this is absolutely who she is.
When you speak to people who've gone through that process of saying, this is who I am, they always known from the time they were young. This isn't just something that was a flight of fancy. This is something they knew in their core from the time they're very young.
Right, like it might be new knowledge to me.
Exactly.
But it's not new knowledge to her. It's not new knowledge to them.
Okay, I want to fast forward and talk about your reaction when your spouse came out to you as a woman. Your family became strong allies. They did the research. You know, you knew about the issues within the community. You knew what people were facing. You knew the language. Yet when your spouse came to you, what did you say?
Well, I'm human and I make mistakes. I can't actually exactly say what I said because it involves some swearing, but I said, oh, you have got to be kidding me, and threw an expletive in there.
Yeah.
I was shocked and scared and angry, and I think underneath all of that, I was just really afraid because having done the research and spoken to a lot of people and looked at the facts, I knew that transgender people, you know, face a lot of discrimination, and that transitioning is big for adults. I was really worried about our family and where that was going to lead us, and I was worried about her.
I want to talk about your family, and particularly your other son's reactions when, you know, they no longer had the dad the way they knew their dad. They no longer had a brother the way they knew their brother.
Right. Our kids have been amazing. So I think they took finding out they had a sister and not a brother really well. It was a little harder to find out they didn't have a dad and that they in fact had a second mom. I think that a lot of their identity was tied into having both a mom and a dad, and they had to work through some of that. But they always led with love. They have been amazing from day one, and they now will tell you they love having 2 moms.
What did the revelation do to your marriage? Did you consider leaving? And you stayed, and you've made this beautiful family. Tell me about that process.
Yeah, I went deep into that in the book because I thought it was so important for people to understand that you see the finished product today, but there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work to that. And I did consider leaving. I thought my marriage was absolutely over. I thought that we maybe, you know, I thought that we wouldn't survive this, that we were not going to be happy. It took time, it took talking, it took a bit of therapy and some self-care and just connection on both our parts, but we are stronger than ever now.
I want to give you a chance to respond to the criticism because you get a lot of it and it is nasty. You have people calling you a child abuser and a pedophile, that you have mental illness. Your response sums up really well in this quote, which you say, what I want the world to know more than anything is my family looks a little different these days, but not in the ways that really matter. We are a typical home filled with laughter, conversation, sibling rivalry, too much laundry, not enough vegetables, and we fight over who gets to pick the Friday night movie. Oh, yeah, and we have a couple trans people and some gays. Who cares?
Who cares? I think that's the real key message, isn't it? That things have changed, but we're still the same. People have a lot of misconceptions about trans people, about LGBTQ plus people in general. And I think that we really need to understand that we're just typical people and families, just like everyone else.
It's an incredible story, an incredible book. I'm glad that you put it down in pages for all of us to share. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
The book, as a reminder, is called Love Lives Here. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.